Have you ever stopped to think about what really hides behind the bright colors and ancient stories of Spain? Imagine a country where every street has something to tell, where legends coexist with everyday life, and where traditional and modern walk side by side. Here, you will discover the secrets that make Spain such a unique and surprising country. From the busy streets of Madrid to the medieval walls of Toledo, each city reveals something new, whether through the intense colors of the tiles, the irresistible aromas of tapas, or the immersive sounds of flamenco guitar echoing through ancient alleys. Let's travel together through scenarios where past and present coexist in harmony, exploring places that hold surprising stories and curious facts little known to tourists. Every corner, square, or monument is an invitation to go beyond the obvious, discovering characters, traditions, and mysteries that few people know about. You'll see iconic monuments that shaped Spanish history, but you'll also find lesser-explored sites full of authenticity and interesting stories. Museums hide intriguing secrets, vibrant festivals preserve centuries-old traditions, and striking flavors reveal the true essence of this fascinating country. In this documentary, every detail was chosen to awaken your curiosity, showing that, in addition to the traditional image of Spain, there is a country full of fascinating stories, local legends, and surprises capable of enchanting any traveler. Get ready to discover a Spain that goes far beyond the conventional. Spain is a country of contrasts and secrets, where every corner reveals a unique and fascinating story. Get ready to discover little explored curiosities that show an unusual side of this nation full of traditions, legends, and innovations. Check out some surprising discoveries about the land of flamencos, bulls, and tapas below. The mysterious origin of siesta. Far beyond the stereotype, the siesta tradition in Spain has historical roots that mix with cultural and climatic influences. In the Roman period, midday breaks were common to avoid intense heat and ensure productivity during the cooler hours of the day. This practice has been perpetuated over the centuries, adapting to social reality and even working conditions in agricultural and urban communities. Today, even with modern transformations, the siesta is still a symbol of the search for balance between professional life and personal well-being, revealing a surprisingly human and timeless side of Spanish culture. Legends of enchanted castles and ghosts. Spain is home to countless castles, many of which carry stories of mysterious apparitions and legends. An intriguing example is the Belmonte Castle in Cuenca, where the spirit of an ancient knight is said to still roam the halls, protecting secrets of past battles and forbidden loves. Another emblematic case is that of the convent of San Francisco in Seville, which, according to popular reports, houses the presence of a nun who is said to have been a victim of injustice and whose soul cries out for justice. These stories, passed down from generation to generation, mix historical facts with supernatural elements, creating an environment where the past and present meet in a game of shadows and mystery. The Moorish influence on architecture and gastronomy. The Moorish heritage left deep marks on Spanish culture, especially in architecture and cuisine. In cities like Granada and Córdoba, you can admire Islamic art reflected in ornamental details, horseshoe arches, and lush gardens that seem to tell tales from distant eras. Likewise, gastronomy incorporates this influence with the use of spices, preparation techniques, and exotic flavors. Dishes such as couscous and tagine reveal a dialogue between cultures that, despite their differences, merge to create a unique and rich identity, where the Moorish past mixes with contemporary innovations, technological innovations, and contemporary festivals. Spain is not just the birthplace of ancient traditions. It also stands out in technological innovations and festivals that celebrate modernity. Cities like Barcelona and Madrid have become hubs for startups and centers of creativity, where technology combines with culture to create unique urban experiences. Festivals such as Sonar for electronic music and Primavera Sound bring together artists and enthusiasts from all over the world, promoting a vibrant exchange between the past and the future. This duality shows that Spain is a country that respects its roots while embracing the transformations of the contemporary world. The tapas revolution and culinary innovation. Tapas, so emblematic of Spain, go far beyond simple snacks. They represent a philosophy of coexistence and sharing, where each dish is a small work of gastronomic art. In historic bars and modern restaurants, chefs reinvent traditional recipes with contemporary touches, creating sensory experiences that delight both local and international palates. This culinary tradition is a true laboratory of flavors, where creativity meets tradition, allowing simple ingredients to transform into true explosions of flavor. Flamenco, dance, pain, and emotion. More than a rhythm, flamenco is the expression of the Spanish soul. Originating in gypsy communities, this performance art carries stories of suffering, passion, and resistance. The intense movements, the engaging music, and the melancholic singing tell narratives of lives marked by struggles and overcoming. In every inch of dance, there's a universe of feelings that manifest themselves in a visceral way, touching the hearts of those who watch. Flamenco is, therefore, a celebration of life in its most authentic form, where every chord and every heartbeat turns into poetry and movement. Encierros, the tradition of bulls and its historical adrenaline. The famous bullfights, known as encierros, are events full of adrenaline and tradition. Originating in medieval festivals, these races involve driving bulls through the narrow streets of cities, a ritual that harks back to ancient management practices and that, over time, turned into a spectacle. Despite modern controversies, encierros continue to be celebrated as a symbol of Spanish courage and passion. Each race is a confrontation between instinct and tradition, where emotion mixes with risk, creating a spectacle that challenges the limits of the body and mind. Popular legends, stories that defy time. Among the many stories that circulate throughout Spain, some legends stand out for their mystery and depth. One of them is the legend of the Lady of Elche, an enigmatic sculpture that dates back to ancient civilizations and which, according to tradition, was created to bless and protect a community. Another fascinating story is that of the Duende de la Montaña, a mystical being who, according to reports, appears on foggy nights in the mountains of Andalusia, guiding lost travelers and revealing secrets from the past. These narratives, which mix historical and supernatural elements, continue to fuel the imagination of Spaniards and visitors, reinforcing the idea that, in Spain, time seems to bend and reveal secrets hidden in every shadow. Each of these curiosities reveals a unique facet of Spain, a country where tradition and modernity intertwine in surprising ways. From historic streets to innovations that boost the economy, Spain presents itself as a mosaic of cultures, legends, and flavors. And you, did you already know any of these curiosities? Leave it in the comments. Spain is a country that seduces the senses with its rich cultural, historical, and natural tapestry. Every corner reveals stories that intertwine with the art, architecture, and traditions of a people passionate about life. As we travel through its iconic destinations, we are invited to experience unique sensations, discovering everything from architectural masterpieces to landscapes that seem to have come from ancient tales. Next, embark on this detailed and engaging description of some of the most striking places in Spanish territory. Have you ever visited any of these places? Comment below what your experience was. Sagrada Familia, Barcelona. Located in the heart of Barcelona, the Sagrada Familia Basilica is, without a doubt, one of the most impressive architectural works in the world. Designed by the brilliant architect Antoni Gaudí, this cathedral, whose construction began in 1882, combines Gothic and Art Nouveau elements, transforming every detail into a symphony of shapes and colors. The main facade, full of sculptures that tell biblical passages, impresses both with its grandeur and with the meticulous care taken with the ornaments. Walking around the Sagrada Familia is like entering a parallel universe, where light and shadow meet in an almost poetic way. Inside, colorful stained glass windows create a light show that transforms each room into a unique sensory experience. Visitors can climb one of the towers to enjoy a panoramic view of Barcelona, observing how the city integrates into the modern and historic setting at the same time. There is also the possibility of learning about the details of the construction processes and the technological innovations that accompany this constantly evolving work. During guided tours, it is common to find moving stories about the challenges and dedication of generations of artisans and engineers who continue to dedicate their skills to transform dreams into reality. This mix of tradition and innovation makes the Sagrada Familia a true icon, a testament to human creativity in its purest form. Parc Güell, Barcelona. Also in Barcelona, Parc Güell is a space that reflects Gaudi's creative essence and the city's free spirit. Originally conceived as a garden city for the elite, the park quickly transformed into a public park filled with colorful mosaics, organic shapes, and stunning views of the city. Upon entering this space, visitors are faced with nature that merges harmoniously with art, creating an environment of pure inspiration. Every corner of Parc Güell invites you to a unique discovery. Undulating benches decorated with trincates, broken pieces of ceramics, sculptures that seem to have a life of their own, and paths that intertwine between gardens and living areas. The iconic dragon at the entrance, covered in vibrant mosaics, has become a symbol of the boundless creativity that permeates the park. Furthermore, the viewpoint offers one of the best views of Barcelona, allowing visitors to absorb the vibrant energy of a city that breathes culture and art into every corner. The relaxed atmosphere of the place is perfect for family outings, photography sessions, and moments of pure contemplation. It is common to find street artists, musicians, and street vendors who further enrich the environment with their art and friendliness. Have you already explored this refuge of colors and shapes? Tell us what enchanted you most. Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao. Bilbao, in the Basque Country, has become a symbol of urban and cultural renaissance in recent decades, and the Guggenheim Museum is the main protagonist of this revolution. Designed by architect Frank Gehry, the museum is a work of art in itself, with its metallic curves and sculptural forms that defy convention. The building, bathed in light reflecting off its titanium surface, has become an icon of the city, attracting visitors from all corners of the world. Inside the Guggenheim, contemporary art exhibitions are mixed with interactive installations that explore the limits between the real and the imaginary. The structure is not just a space for passive contemplation. It encourages interaction and dialogue, making each visit a unique experience. The museum's external areas are also part of the attraction, with works of art scattered around and views that open onto the Nervión River, completing Bilbao's urban landscape. In addition to its visual and cultural impact, the Guggenheim Museum also boosted the transformation of the city, contributing to the revitalization of previously neglected areas. This urban metamorphosis is a clear example of how art can be an agent of social and economic change, renewing the spirit and identity of a community. Have you experienced this cultural revolution in Bilbao? Tell us in the comments what your experience was like. Alhambra, Granada. In Granada, the Alhambra is much more than a collection of palaces and fortresses. It is a symbol of the coexistence of cultures and Islamic art in its most refined form. Built during the Nazareth period, the Alhambra reveals an architectural richness that moves between the grandeur of the palaces and the delicacy of the gardens. Each room, courtyard, and tower tells a story of power, beauty, and often mystery. The Generalife Gardens, adjacent to the complex, offer a setting of pure tranquility, with fountains, pavilions, and lush vegetation that invite meditation. When walking along these winding paths, it is possible to feel the influence of Islamic culture, which is expressed in the harmony between architecture and nature. Ancient stories tell of forbidden loves, palace intrigues, and even legends involving spirits that protected the secrets of the Alhambra. Visiting the Alhambra is an almost magical experience, where the past seems to meet the present with every detail carved in stone and every reflection in the waters of the gardens. The ornate walls and stucco details create an atmosphere that transports visitors to another era, making them reflect on the transformations that time imposes on civilizations. Have you ever imagined yourself walking through the corridors of a palace that holds centuries of history? Share your vision of this experience. Alcazar of Seville, Seville. The Alcazar of Seville is a true treasure that illustrates the mix of cultures that characterize the Iberian Peninsula. Originally built as a Moorish fortress, the Alcazar evolved over the centuries, incorporating Christian, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque elements. This wealth of styles makes the complex a place of contrasts and surprises, where each room reveals a detail that speaks about the power and sophistication of its former residents. The Alcazar Gardens are an invitation to the senses. Boulevards lined with centuries-old trees, ornamental fountains, and lakes that reflect the sky of Seville create a scene of peace and unparalleled beauty. During cultural events and festivals, these spaces come to life with flamenco performances, exhibitions, and celebrations that keep the Andalusian tradition alive. Every corner of the Alcazar tells a story, and many visitors are lost in reveries as they imagine the intrigues and loves that unfolded within those centuries-old walls. In addition to the historical and architectural aspects, the Alcazar of Seville offers interactive activities, such as guided tours that explore everything from the artistic details of the tiles to the legends surrounding the ancient inhabitants. At the end of the tour, the visitor not only appreciates the grandeur of the place, but also feels part of a narrative that transcends time. Have you ever had the chance to be enchanted by the mysteries of this palace? Share your experience. Caminito del Rey, Malaga. For lovers of adventure and intense emotions, Caminito del Rey is a destination that challenges limits and invites you to a breathtaking experience. Located in the province of Malaga, this path suspended from the walls of the El Chorro Gorge offers spectacular views and an incomparable sense of freedom. Originally built to facilitate access to hydroelectric plants, Caminito has undergone a transformation that has made it one of the most challenging and exciting walks in Spain. When walking along the trails, visitors come across breathtaking landscapes, rock walls that rise into imposing formations, rivers that flow through deep gorges, and a sky that seems to open up to reveal the immensity of nature. The feeling of being suspended, with the wind hitting your face and adrenaline pumping with each step, is something that is etched in the memory of anyone who dares to take on this route. Local curiosities tell of stories of former workers and past adventures, adding a touch of mystery to this breathtaking route. The Caminito del Rey is not just a trail. It is a complete experience that combines the strength of nature with the courage of adventurers. If you are a fan of challenges and landscapes that seem to challenge the imagination, this is the perfect destination to renew your energy and create unforgettable memories. Have you ever felt that adrenaline on an extreme ride? Leave your comment and share your stories. Santiago de Compostela, Galicia. Considered the most famous final pilgrimage destination in the world, Santiago de Compostela is a city that breathes spirituality and history. Its cobblestone streets, majestic cathedral, and welcoming atmosphere make each visitor feel part of a tradition that spans centuries. The cathedral, with its imposing facade and its interior full of artistic details, is the arrival point of a long route followed by pilgrims from all parts of the globe. Legend has it that the remains of the Apostle Santiago were found in this region, which transformed the city into a symbol of faith and perseverance. When exploring the corners of Santiago de Compostela, it is possible to discover not only the religious history, but also the rich Galician culture, marked by the music, gastronomy, and hospitality of its people. Fairs, festivals, and cultural events often liven up the city's squares, making each visit a celebration of life and ancestral traditions. For those who want an authentic experience, walking through the narrow streets and talking to the locals is a unique opportunity to connect with the essence of Santiago. The city invites you to silent reflection, an intimate encounter with your own history, and an immersion in rituals that are perpetuated over the years. Have you ever followed any of the pilgrimage paths? Share with us the emotions you experienced on this journey. Prado Museum, Madrid. In the heart of Madrid, the Prado Museum is a temple of arts that houses one of the most important collections in the world. With works spanning the centuries, from the Renaissance masters to the Impressionists, the museum offers a visual journey through the history of European art. Upon entering this space, visitors find rooms full of paintings, sculptures, and objects that tell stories of royalty, conquests, and cultural transformations. Among the highlights are works by Velázquez, Goya, and El Greco, whose expressive brushstrokes reveal not only their artistic talent, but also the social and political context of their times. The museum's environment invites contemplation and study, making each work an invitation to explore narratives that transcend time. In addition to permanent exhibitions, the Prado frequently hosts temporary exhibitions, lectures, and interactive activities that bring the public closer to the rich history of Spanish art. For visitors who want a more complete experience, there are guided tours that explain the technical and historical details of each work, allowing even the subtlest details to come to life. If you appreciate art and history, the Prado Museum is the ideal place to get lost in a universe of beauty and knowledge. Have you ever had the opportunity to be enchanted by a work that marked you? Leave your comment and tell us your story. City of Arts and Sciences, Valencia. In the vibrant city of Valencia, the City of Arts and Sciences is a perfect example of how modernity and creativity can transform the urban landscape. Designed by renowned architect Santiago Calatrava, this futuristic complex brings together museums, aquariums, and cultural spaces in an environment of bold lines and innovative shapes. Each structure appears to defy gravity and convention, creating a setting where science and art meet in perfect harmony. Among the main attractions are the Hemispheric, which offers 3D cinema and planetarium experiences, and the Oceanographic, the largest aquarium in Europe, where marine life is presented in enclosures that reproduce ecosystems from different parts of the world. In addition to these wonders, the architecture of the place itself is an attraction in itself. The Príncipe Felipe Science Museum, with its structure that resembles the skeleton of a dinosaur, and the Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia, which hosts opera and classical music shows, are examples of the creative audacity that pulsates in Valencia. The complex not only serves as an exhibition space, it is the stage for cultural events, technology fairs, and art festivals, where the public can participate in workshops, lectures, and interactive activities. This dynamic environment transforms the visit into a complete experience, stimulating imagination and curiosity. If you are looking for a mix of science, art, and innovation, this is the perfect destination to be inspired and surprised. Have you explored this union of modernity and tradition? Share your experience in the comments. Córdoba and its Mosque Cathedral. In Córdoba, the Mosque Cathedral is a monument that testifies to the incredible coexistence of different cultures over the centuries. Originally built as a mosque during Islamic rule, the structure was later transformed into a cathedral, maintaining in its essence traces of both traditions. This fusion results in a unique space, where horseshoe arches, imposing columns, and geometric details alternate with elements of medieval Christianity. The interior of the Mosque Cathedral enchants visitors with its visual harmony. Long rows of columns supporting elaborately decorated vaults create a feeling of infinity and continuity. Every detail, from the intricate mosaics to the meticulous woodwork, tells the story of a city that was the scene of encounters and disenchantment, of conquest and cultural reconciliations. The atmosphere of the place is so intense that many visitors are moved by the grandeur and spirituality that emanate from every corner. In addition to visiting the monument itself, Córdoba offers a rich itinerary of experiences. Narrow streets full of history, courtyards decorated with flowers and traditions that are kept alive in local festivals and celebrations. The city thus becomes a true open-air museum, where each tour reveals surprises and stories that intertwine with the daily lives of residents. Have you ever had the opportunity to explore the cultural riches of Córdoba? Leave your comment and share your impressions. As you travel through these iconic destinations, you come across a multifaceted Spain, where tradition intertwines with modernity at every corner, and history is present in surprising details. From great architectural works to adrenaline-filled trails, from museums that chronicle the evolution of art to cities that vibrate with the energy of their roots, each place presents its own universe that waits to be discovered. Each destination presented here is not just a dot on the map, but an invitation to immerse yourself in experiences that stimulate the senses and imagination. These are spaces where art, culture, and nature come together to offer unforgettable moments, which remain engraved in our memory and transform the way we see the world. Whether admiring the complexity of Gaudi's buildings in Barcelona, feeling the peace of the Alhambra Gardens, or being enchanted by the modernity that pulsates in the City of Arts and Sciences in Valencia, Spain reveals itself as a destination that transcends common tourism. The historical and cultural richness of these places is accentuated by local events, festivals and celebrations that renew the spirit of each community. Fairs, musical performances, gastronomic tastings, and interactive activities are frequent, providing each visitor with the opportunity to integrate and experience the culture in an authentic and intense way. The combination of past and present creates scenarios that seem to have come out of a dream, where time blurs and each moment becomes a surprising discovery. When planning your visit to these iconic places, be sure to take the time to absorb every detail. Walk slowly through the historic streets, talk to the locals, taste the typical flavors, and allow yourself to be enveloped by the stories that each corner has to tell. Spain's cultural richness is made up of unique moments, and each trip is an opportunity to rediscover yourself through the art, history, and passion that characterize this country. Have you visited any of these destinations? What moments most mark your experience? Leave in the comments and share with us your memories and discoveries. Your participation further enriches this exchange of experiences and inspires others to be enchanted by the wonders of Spain. Exploring Spain means allowing yourself to intensely experience every detail, every landscape, and every story that unfolds in its streets, squares, and monuments. Throughout this imaginary journey, we pass through places that mark the history of a nation, but which also became a stage for new experiences and encounters. This mix of ancient traditions with contemporary innovations is what makes each destination unique and unforgettable. Now, imagine yourself walking through the cobblestone streets of a city where every corner reveals a new secret, where art manifests itself in every architectural detail, and where nature presents itself in an exuberant way. This is the essence of Spain, a place that invites you to live each moment with intensity, to discover the new amidst the old, and to be enchanted by the diversity that pulsates in each region. From the lights that bathe the Sagrada Familia to the shine of the mosaics in Park Güell, from the mystery that surrounds the Alhambra to the emotions awakened in the Caminito del Rey, each experience is an invitation to fall in love with life. How about starting now to plan your next adventure and let each destination inspire new stories? Have you ever felt this connection with any of the places presented? Share your memories and leave your comment, enriching this exchange of experiences and helping more people become enchanted by the magic of Spain's iconic destinations. This is a celebration of the diversity and beauty that Spain has to offer. Each place, with its stories and traditions, reveals a part of the soul of this country, inviting you to get lost in its details and rediscover the pleasure of traveling with your eyes and heart open. Take advantage of each tip, plan your trips, and get ready to experience moments that will remain in your memory forever. Have you ever visited any of these places? Comment below what your experience was and which destinations enchanted you most in this rich tapestry of history, culture, and emotion. In the vastness of Spain, there are secret corners where time seems to pause, allowing every detail of the environment to be transformed into a unique and unforgettable sensory experience. Amid this little explored wealth, 5 hidden destinations stand out that invite visitors to get lost in breathtaking landscapes, intense aromas, sounds that lull memories, and flavors that awaken long-dormant emotions. Starting with Sentinel de las Bodegas, this Andalusian village surprises with its unusual form of housing. Houses partially excavated in the rock, where natural walls merge with centuries-old buildings. Upon entering its narrow alleys, the eye comes across rock formations that seem to have been carved by nature's own hand, while the sun shines on the stones, releasing an earthy and humid aroma, reminiscent of ancient stories. The distant sound of lively conversations and the clink of glasses in traditional bars fill the air, inviting visitors to enjoy a handmade tapa accompanied by a local wine that exudes fruity and earthy notes. It is said that, decades ago, an old man known to everyone as Don Jamie kept in his heart the legend of a treasure hidden in the crevices of the rocks, the search for which became an informal tradition among the residents, passing from generation to generation in conversations around rustic tables lit by lamps at night. This story gives Sentinel a touch of mystery that instigates curiosity and awakens the desire to uncover secrets long buried in the rock. Coming out of the Andalusian heat, the scenery changes when you arrive at Albarracin, a medieval village nestled on the slopes of the province of Teruel in Aragon. Albarracin is a mosaic of stone streets, picturesque reddish houses, and viewpoints that open onto deep, serene valleys. When walking through its alleys, the visitor is enveloped by an air of tranquility, where the sound of footsteps on uneven sidewalks mixes with the soft songs of birds that take refuge in the ancient trees. The aroma of wood and damp earth intensifies near the old buildings, while the fresh mountain breeze brings with it the scent of wild flowers and aromatic herbs, typical of the region. In one of the centuries-old squares, it is common to hear the narrative of Dona Carmen, a resident who, with a calm voice and restrained gestures, tells the legend of a wandering knight who protected the village from invaders and, after a decisive battle, mysteriously disappeared in the shadows of the mountains, leaving a legacy of courage and devotion that is perpetuated in local festivities. The flavor of a typical dish, prepared with fresh ingredients and seasoned in a balanced way, keeps the conversation going, while the rustic texture of the stone walls, polished by time, reinforces the feeling of being in a place where history is present at every corner. Heading to Alquizar, located in the heart of the Huesca Mountains, the landscape takes on dramatic and romantic contours, where nature and architecture intertwine in a surprising way. This small medieval village, tucked into a hillside with breathtaking views, offers the visitor a complete experience. The sound of the stream that runs gently alongside the cobblestone streets, the aroma of wildflowers that wafts through the open windows, and the unusual flavor of artisanal cheeses produced right there, which have a creamy texture and a slightly smoky touch. Alquizar is also the stage for stories marked by bravery and passion. Residents proudly tell of an ancient tradition in which, many years ago, a young shepherd, in love with a village maiden, defied convention and, on a moonlit night, climbed the imposing natural walls to leave a message of love in the rocks, leaving a trail of symbols that to this day inspire poems and songs at regional fairs. This living memory mixes with the buzz of voices celebrating local festivals, where dance, music, and the taste of high-altitude wines create a unique and captivating atmosphere, transporting the visitor to a past that, although distant, pulses intensely in the present. Continuing this route through lesser-known destinations, you arrive at Ainsa, a city located at the foot of the Pyrenees, which preserves a charming historical complex amidst almost untouched nature. The atmosphere in Ainsa is one of almost palpable serenity. The narrow streets, paved with irregular stones, take the visitor on a sensorial journey where the sound of the bells of a century-old church mixes with the murmur of the conversations of the local inhabitants. The aroma of freshly baked bread, which escapes from small bakeries, combines with the scent of pine trees and the fresh mountain breeze, providing an olfactory delight that complements the rich tapestry of flavors found in the city's taverns, where typical dishes based on native meats and mushrooms awaken the palate with intense flavors and surprising textures. In one of the central squares rests the memory of Don Esteban, an artisan who dedicated his life to carving wooden representations of the local fauna and who, according to tradition, inspired the creation of an annual festival in honor of the animals that, according to the ancients, guarded the protection of the residents. This narrative, told with emotion by elders who gather on sunny afternoons, gives Ainsa an aura of charm and reverence for nature, making each visitor feel part of a story that goes beyond the limits of time. Finally, the route ends with La Alberca, one of Salamanca's best-kept secrets, where the past is revealed in every detail and tradition is kept alive with rare intensity. This village, nestled between mountains and valleys, offers a complete sensory experience. The soft sound of folk instruments that echoes through the cobbled streets, mixed with the spontaneous laughter of residents who gather in the squares to celebrate local festivities. The houses of La Alberca, with their stone facades and aged wood, emanate an aroma that mixes the scent of wood-burning fireplaces with the fresh scent of herbs grown in small gardens. The flavor of typical dishes, such as roast lamb and rustic migas, prepared using ancestral techniques, reveals a cuisine that favors the natural and authentic, with textures that vary from soft to crunchy, inviting the senses to an experience of pure delight. Amidst this enchanting scenario, the story of Dona Isabel circulates, a woman who, according to ancient reports, was known for her gift of curing illnesses with infusions of plants collected on the slopes of the mountains, and whose wisdom was passed on with care to future generations. Its story, interspersed with episodes of generosity and a deep connection with the land, is manifested in each celebration and becomes an integral part of local folklore, inspiring visitors to rediscover the magic that resides in the small details and traditions preserved with such zeal. Each of these places, with their particularities, invites the visitor to a complete immersion in the senses, where sounds, aromas, flavors, and textures come together to form a unique and remarkable experience. The feeling of walking through streets that maintain the memory of remote times, of hearing stories that are intertwined with the daily lives of residents, and of tasting dishes prepared with genuine ingredients and techniques passed down from generation to generation creates an environment where authenticity is the main attraction. At Serenal de las Bodegas, the contrast between the robustness of the stone and the delicacy of local flavors instigates curiosity and the desire to explore every corner. In Albarracin, the beauty of the architectural details and the murmur of the stories told by its inhabitants transport the visitor to a universe where time dissolves into moments of pure contemplation. In Alquizar, the grandeur of the landscape and the legend of the young shepherd reveal the strength of a past that still pulses in the corners of the mountains. In Ainsa, the harmonious encounter between tradition and nature creates an atmosphere of peace and reflection, where each step reveals a new layer of meaning. And in La Alberca, the experience of ancestral traditions and the memory of emblematic figures, such as Dona Isabel, reaffirm the importance of preserving the essence of a way of life that celebrates the intimate connection between man and the land. By visiting these hidden destinations, visitors allow themselves to immerse themselves in an experience that goes beyond conventional tourism, discovering not just places, but stories, emotions, and traditions that enrich the soul and awaken curiosity about the cultural roots of Spain that, even in the midst of modernity, proudly guards its secrets and charms. Each corner reveals a narrative that, told in whispers of wind, in the colors of aged buildings, and in the warmth of spontaneous encounters, invites us to reflect on the beauty of simplicity and the grandeur of a culture that is renewed with each attentive look and each shared memory. This sensorial immersion transforms the visit into a continuous celebration of life, where the tangible mixes with the ethereal and the past meets the present in a tight embrace, stimulating the desire to discover, to feel, and to be enveloped by every detail that makes these places so special and unique. Spain is a country that invites you to immerse yourself in a universe full of curious customs and traditions that awaken the imagination and touch the heart. Have you ever imagined participating in a party that mixes dance, music, and intense colors, where each gesture has a special meaning? How about experiencing the passion of a local fiesta, like the traditional San Fermin celebrations in Pamplona or the magic of Castells in Catalonia, where teams erect human towers in defiance of gravity? These celebrations are not just events, but true rituals that carry centuries of history and symbolize unity, courage, and the joy of living. Also think about the small gestures that make up the rich Spanish cultural tapestry. The firm handshake accompanied by a wide smile, the kiss on both sides as a form of greeting, and even the passionate way of talking, where each word is full of emotion and expressiveness. Have you ever found yourself wanting to know what each gesture means? Or maybe you've already participated in a flamenco circle, where clapping and tap dancing tell stories of love and loss, of struggles and overcoming. These unique moments become memories that remain forever and connect us with the essence of local culture. In addition to parties and gestures, superstitions and popular traditions are also part of Spanish charm. Imagine walking down an old street and hearing locals commenting on the luck it brings to knock on a house's door when crossing the path of a black cat, or about the custom of avoiding the number 13 at important events. In many regions, there is a belief that certain words or attitudes can attract good or bad energy, And these traditions, passed down from generation to generation, add a touch of mysticism to everyday life. Have you ever experienced any superstitions on your trip or heard any curious stories about luck? Share your experiences with us. What about gastronomic traditions? Every meal in Spain is a celebration of the senses. From the striking aroma of a steaming paella, to the unmistakable flavor of tapas that are true invitations to share, to the crunchy texture of fresh bread served with high-quality olive oil, Spanish cuisine is a feast for the senses. Perhaps you have tried a regional wine that, with its unique bouquet, tells the story of the terroir and the dedication of local producers. What food surprised you the most on your travels? Do you remember the taste of a typical dessert or a snack that awakened emotions? Tell us in the comments. As we explore these traditions and customs, it is impossible not to be enchanted by the cultural diversity that appears in each region of Spain. Each city, each village has its own story to tell, its unique rituals, and its special way of celebrating life. Perhaps you dream of participating in a religious procession where the rhythmic steps of the faithful and the sound of marches echo through the streets, creating an atmosphere of devotion and emotion. Or perhaps you want to lose yourself in a music and dance festival, where the contagious energy of the participants makes you feel the pulse of a culture that never sleeps. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to experience one of these moments? What cultural experiences would you like to have on your next visit to Spain? The interaction between tradition and modernity, respect for roots, and the constant celebration of life make Spain an unforgettable destination for those looking for more than just tourist attractions. It is an invitation to connect with the essence of the place, to listen to the stories told by the residents, and to feel, in a visceral way, the pulse of a vibrant and welcoming culture. And you, are you prepared to be enchanted by the details, surprised by the rituals, and get involved in the traditions that make Spain so unique? Leave your comment and tell us what experiences you would like to have, or what traditions have already marked your trajectory. Your participation is essential for this cultural exchange to become even richer and more inspiring. Upon completing this journey through Spain, we are invited to reflect on the incredible diversity and emotions experienced in each destination. From the architectural wonders of Gaudi to the vibrant traditions of the villages, each experience revealed a piece of the Spanish soul, full of colors, flavors, and stories that touch the heart. It was a journey where ancient and modern met to create unforgettable moments, filling our eyes with beauty and our minds with inspiration. Feel the pulse of the parties, the heat of the meetings, and the magic of the landscapes that only Spain can offer. This adventure showed us that every corner of this country is a new discovery, an invitation to get lost in traditions and reconnect with culture. If you enjoyed this trip, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any new adventures.